This narrative that Justin Herbert is a social media quarterback is the fact that he also can't win.
You know who also has not been backed up so well on social media has been Justin Herbert.
I thought you were going to say a different person.
I feel the opposite. I feel like he's been backed.
Fair. Sorry. Justin Herbert is like the prime-time social media quarterback, right?
Yeah,
so like everybody thinks he's like this elite guy, the next talent, the next Patrick Mahomes, right? One of the greats
social media
that's
boy.
Coming up. But if you look at his stats, he's been not playing that great. And they keep losing.
You said something yesterday.
Shout out to Emmanuel Acho for this one, because I think he's been taking the most slack for this narrative that he's put out, that he is the social media quarterback. And I think people take it completely out of context. But he was so spot on, and something that happened on Sunday proved Acho's point completely.
That was the best.
Which was Justin Herbert for the entire game. If you watch the Chargers-Raiders game, which unfortunately Red Zone was just feeding us that game, I didn't want to see a single thing of that. Justin Herbert wasn't playing great, though. It was the Raiders. And he comes out and he rolls out and he makes this crazy throw to Keenan Allen. Might I add, fantastic
That was
throw.
ridiculous throw, yeah.
And someone tweets Emmanuel Acho and says, here goes Acho, going to tweet about this as the social media quarterback. And Acho comes back and says, you are literally proving my point, because up until that, 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he had a 57% completion percentage, which is between Baker Mayfield and Zach Wilson, and you're losing to the Raiders. So the fact that Justin Herbert is a social media quarterback is more so rooted in the fact that like you're going to only credit those wins and not talk about his losses.
He has flashes of like these incredible highlights, and that's the stuff they show us on social media. And that's why he's the social media quarterback, because
that's the reason why everyone thinks that he's
flashy moves.
That's why people think he's so great too, is because you see he does things that almost any other quarterback cannot do, right? He has those things. It's crazy, but like if you actually look at the stats, like he's a
you look at the stats yesterday. I mean, if we just look at yards, 335, we're like, he had a good game right now. He had one touchdown, no interceptions, which is cool. 15.2 QBR.
Yeah.
So worse than Tua.
I mean,
nobody's talking about.
And nobody's talking about Justin Herbert.
Talking about Justin Herbert today. People
everyone's talking about Tua.
Can we get the right narrative in here for TikTok? Because that was a good one. I like that one. I don't know what the hook is on that, but that was great. Everyone wants to clown Tua for the performance against the Niners.
The number one defense in the league.
And yet the Dolphins were still in a position to win. But what did Justin Herbert do against the
Raiders?
What was Justin Herbert's QBR?
15.2 QBR.
And what was Tua's QBR?
It was like 18.
19.
Yeah. Okay, your quarterback's supposed to lead you to points. And you can put it on Brandon Staley as much as you want, but this narrative that Justin Herbert is a social media quarterback is the fact that he also can't win. And so
hold on. Let's be real though. I know you're gonna bring up 2-1 last year. The Dolphins didn't look great last year, and they had a bad coach. Like you hate Flores more than anybody.
The conversation was about a social media quarterback, and I think everyone takes the social media aspect out of it, because Justin Herbert is not gonna get slack when he plays like shit, and he's gonna get praise when he makes these off-balance crazy throws, and no one's gonna keep that same energy. Yet he had a worse QBR than Tua, and yet people are going to come ridicule for
this. No, I haven't seen anyone talking Justin Herbert on Twitter yet.
It's unfair.
Like, they're 6-6, and he's a part of it. Bro.
Your point about him having a worse QBR than Tua is why he's a social media quarterback.
Yeah.
Here's another social media player though that Jack brought up before.
Great point.
We were talking about Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, this is a take. You guys are talking about Herbert being a social media quarterback. I was like, in my head, like I was just sitting in the background, mulling around, kind of thinking, to myself, a social media corner is Trayvon Diggs.
Explain.
But in the opposite way that Justin Herbert is a social media quarterback, you see Trayvon Diggs. What was one of the biggest clips shared around yesterday? Him getting cooked by that special teams wide receiver.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But people aren't talking about how Michael Pittman only had one catch. People aren't talking this whole year how he's shutting out Justin Jefferson. He's shutting down some of the best receivers in football. He's a top 2 to 3 corner, in my opinion, in the league right now. But no one wants to give him credit for that, because it's the popular thing to the Cowboys. It's the popular cool thing to on Trayvon Diggs, when realistically he had 12 picks last year.
I'll agree with that, because I feel like I also see so many people saying Sauce Gardner's insane. And don't get me wrong, I think he's a great cornerback, but the same way on social media people share Trayvon Diggs getting burned or Justin Herbert throwing big crazy throws is the same way I've been seeing on social media people putting Sauce Gardner a lot of times he's holding, and I think the best corners are able to get away with holding a lot. But I think it's unfair to put Trayvon Diggs as this guy that's like a corner. I think he's a social media cornerback in the sense that he only gets
on social media.
Yeah, when one bad play happens, but then when something good happens, noby's going to say anything about him.
People get cooked. That's part of being a corner. You know what no one shared yesterday was Jair Alexander getting absolutely mauled and by N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry made that boy look terrible, and no one's sharing that.
Who else do you think is a social media player? Let us know in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and go to thegameday.shop for all your NFL merch.